Have you ever stopped to think that every single choice you make, even the tiny ones, could be shaping your entire future without you even noticing? Crazy, right? Most of the time, we get lost in distractions, procrastinate, and let time slip through our fingers. And the worst part? We convince ourselves that a little delay won't hurt, until the future shows the real cost of every decision. Imagine taking control, using discipline and self-confidence to turn every action into real, lasting results. Today, you're going to learn how to wake up to the life you truly deserve and see how even small, conscious choices can transform everything, step by step. Danny had a sharp mind, always curious about the world, but he kept getting lost in distractions all day long. Between quick searches and random videos, he kept putting off important tasks, letting discipline and consistency slip away. His days were filled with tiny, instant pleasures, and every choice seemed harmless, like the future was miles away. A scroll here, a clip there, and he felt in the loop, but he didn't realize he was losing emotional control over his own time. Every wasted minute quietly shaped the results that would hit him later. He got used to thinking a little delay wouldn't matter, and laughed it off as if he were safe. Deep down, Danny knew self-confidence doesn't just appear. It takes effort and discipline to build something solid. But he let himself get carried away by the screen, and the entrepreneurship of real life seemed to keep slipping further away with every notification. He was halfway learning, halfway distracted, teetering between progress and stagnation. The motivational quotes he'd heard before felt distant, like they weren't meant for him. Still, there was something about Danny that stood out: his genuine curiosity. He absorbed information fast but struggled to turn that knowledge into consistent action. Every postponed task was a quiet test of patience and self-control. Life kept giving him chance after chance while he was still hunting for instant self-confidence. And right there, the story begins to deepen, showing even the smartest need emotional control and discipline to achieve lasting results. Danny literally had his phone glued to his hand, like it was part of his body. Every notification pulled his attention, and he got lost in reels, shorts, and endless clips. The world seemed way more interesting on screen than in his actual life, and he barely noticed discipline and consistency slipping away. Between laughs and quick skims, he absorbed shallow information, thinking he was keeping up, but really he was disconnected from himself. Each app opened, each minute wasted, quietly built the results he'd eventually have to face. Time slipped through his fingers, and Danny barely realized emotional control needed constant practice. Every scroll was a tiny decision, a missed chance to act, to grow, to apply entrepreneurship to his own life. Self-confidence, built through effort and discipline, seemed farther away than ever. Motivational quotes he saw online sounded nice, but they didn't translate into action. And so, in the middle of distractions and tiny decisions, he started sensing the long-term effects of his future results. Yet there was something in Danny, a subtle intuition that things needed to change. He didn't know how to balance fun and responsibility yet, but he felt that consistency and emotional control could spark real transformation. Each decision to put the phone down for a few minutes could be a step toward results he wanted. And at this point, his father's words were about to start making sense, setting the stage for the next lesson. Danny's father quickly noticed his son was becoming a slave to distractions and decided to speak plainly, but wisely. "You're turning into a storage unit of distractions," he said, planting a seed of awareness. Danny chuckled, thinking a little fun couldn't hurt. But beneath the humor, his father was showing that every choice, no matter how small, is a building block for the future. Discipline and consistency, the backbone of entrepreneurship and self-confidence, needed to be understood before it was too late. As they talked, Danny felt a faint stir, almost imperceptible, like each wasted scroll carried a price. Emotional control wasn't fully developed yet, and postponing tasks was far easier than facing responsibility. Motivational quotes he'd once ignored started echoing in his mind, reminding him that lasting results demand continuous effort. A quiet reflection began, opening space for awareness about his choices. The conversation planted a healthy restlessness only those seeking real growth know. Danny started realizing that it wasn't just about avoiding distractions. It was about creating habits that strengthen self-confidence and discipline. Every decision to procrastinate or act carried weight, almost tangible. And as this understanding settled, he was ready for a story that would show practically and engagingly the real value of every daily choice. That night, Danny's grandpa sat beside him and started telling a story that seemed simple, but carried deep lessons. He talked about a king and his 3 ministers, each tasked with collecting the best fruits from the forest in a single day. The first minister worked hard, picking the ripest, juiciest fruits. The second took shortcuts, filling his sack with whatever looked full, even if some were rotten. And the third rushed, stuffing his sack with leaves, stones, and sand. Danny listened closely, absorbing every detail, unaware that each fruit represented the daily choices he was making in his own life. Grandpa calmly explained that the fruits would be their only food for 30 days in isolation. The one who worked with consistency thrived, the shortcut taker suffered, and the negligent one faced scarcity. The story made Danny reflect on his own habits, the time wasted in distractions and the silent impact of each decision. Entrepreneurship, discipline, and emotional control weren't just ideas. They were tools to turn choices into tangible results. As the story unfolded, Danny began seeing the connection to his own life. Every postponed task, every wasted moment, was like putting stones into his own sack, affecting his future. Self-confidence isn't built with intentions alone. It needs daily practice, and motivational quotes he used to brush off suddenly had real meaning. Immersed in his grandpa's story, he started understanding that achieving lasting results requires awareness, effort, and responsible choices, setting him up for noticing the consequences that lay ahead. Danny started realizing that every choice, no matter how tiny, carried weight for his future. Every minute lost to distractions, every postponed task, was like putting rotten fruit or stones in his own sack. Emotional control and discipline proved essential, because only those who act with consistency can harvest real results. Life's entrepreneurship demands attention to details most people ignore, and self-confidence grows step by step, not overnight. He reflected on how life offers no free shortcuts. Every delay, every excuse quietly builds a reality that eventually reveals itself. Motivational quotes he once skimmed now felt like nudges, reminders that the future is shaped today with every conscious action. Danny began feeling the impact of past decisions, realizing that results don't appear by luck. They come from steady effort and smart choices. Awareness of his choices brought both unease and opportunity. He understood that small acts of discipline could transform weeks, months, even years ahead. Every avoided scroll, every completed task was a quiet victory, boosting self-confidence and yielding fruits for his personal growth. And so, as he internalized this lesson, Danny prepared for the moment to act, applying what he was learning about responsibility in the future. Grandpa wrapped up the story reminding Danny that life rewards those who act with dedication and consistency. Every choice, no matter how small, is a brick in the building of the future. Every daily effort is an investment in lasting results. Discipline and emotional control are invisible allies that support growth, while self-confidence blossoms through consistent practice. Danny realized that life's entrepreneurship demands attention, courage, and ongoing action, with no shortcuts allowed. As he reflected, a new motivation sparked within him. Motivational quotes that once felt distant now resonated in every thought. Every conscious decision became an opportunity to shape his path. Every minute of effort was a step toward real results. Life demonstrated that knowing isn't enough. Applying, transforming intention into action, and building something solid with consistency and patience is key. Danny understood that the journey never ends. Every achievement opens space for new choices and responsibilities. Lessons in discipline, emotional control, and self-confidence aren't destinations. They're a continuous cycle of growth. Every step he took connected to a bigger vision where effort and dedication turn into real results. And with his mind awakening, he readied himself to keep learning and applying, staying alert to the next choices shaping his life. Now it's your turn. What are you going to do with everything you've just learned? Are you going to let tiny decisions slip by unnoticed? Or are you going to take control of your life and harvest the results you deserve? Every minute counts, and every action has a real impact on your future. Try applying consistency, emotional control, and discipline in your daily life, and watch your self-confidence grow. Ready to truly change your life? Start now. Share your experiences in the comments, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to keep learning how to turn your choices into real achievements.